We're likely to see Beterbiev versus Bivol 3. How do you see that third fight playing out, Tunde?
I just feel like at this stage of Beterbiev's career that Dimitri Bivol has his number.
Yeah.
I mean, the second fight, it's grueling. Both fights were grueling fights for both fighters. And I feel that Bivol being the younger fighter, seemingly the fresher fighter, definitely... And
the levels that Bivol stepped up in the second fight surprised us all, didn't it?
I don't think we'll see anything different in the third fight. I think it'll be close.
I think personally, them fights, and I don't know whether you agree or not, I think they could have 10 fights and they'll all be very similar.
Yeah.
They'll be razor tight, nip and tuck.
Bivol's level, the level that he went up to the second
I think the younger man's fine.
Age is a key factor in that.
Yeah.
Age is a key factor because you look at it and you go, I didn't think that Bivol would be able to reverse that because I thought Beterbiev was the better fighter and I just thought he would be a little bit too strong. And I think going into that rematch, I thought it's going to be very similar. But what Bivol proved us was that he has those levels. He has those classes. He can meet fire with fire and he can control the space and do... And he dominated the second fight. And I think going into the third one, he would win it even clearer. I think the Beterbiev time is not on his side. Yeah. He is ageing and I just think that, Bivol would... win the first fight quite clearly.
Where does Callum fit into the 2026 scene and opportunities?
Anywhere he can, and this is the thing, like, I've got to be sort of careful because I don't speak for him. Callum's self-managed, Callum's his own man, he doesn't speak much anyway, but obviously, listen, he just wants a fight and he's been waiting a long time to get this fight.
He's fighting Morel, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't agree with... Why would an interim title have a mandatory put on him? It's not the world title. You're not world champion, you're interim world champion. The world champions are there and they're waiting to have a unification fight again and a almost undisputed. But I don't think the interim champion should be forced to have fight because he could have been busy by now, but he's had to wait for that one, and that fight has to happen to keep the interim title, which is what you've done all the hard work to get in a position to do. And we've seen what's just happened with Fabio Wardley. Obviously, he's been upgraded, or Callum will get the chance to fight against
if Beterbiev steps up to fight Zudo Ramirez, which is alleged to be the case. Does he lose his title by doing that and vacate it?
That's the WBC, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know what. Listen, the WBC have been known to do that for a while.
The champion automatically becomes champion. I think that's what happens when he moves up to box. But I think
Callum's WBO. Callum's next in line is the WBO.
In Callum's situation, he's been out inactive now for a year, and he's at that stage of his career where we go like, look, going into that fight, we thought Boatsy would have too much momentum. He was be the younger, the fresher of the two. Callum proved us...
At the risk of sounding like my man, you thought that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, but I think a lot of people did as well, Paul. I don't think I was on my own.
No, you weren't. You wasn't.
I think looking at it, you go, the question marks were, what desire has Callum got left at this stage? Will he be able to dig deep when it gets tough? And he answered all the questions, showed that he is still at very much world-class level.
That's why...
Inactivity at this stage is a big problem.
Yeah, it's not. It's no good. It's no good.
So going back to what Tunde said, like going in there, you go, now, let's say David Morrell, they go, right, bang, the fight gets made. If they can't reach terms and agreements, hence money or whatever else, then if he misses that fight, isn't he in danger then of missing a payday altogether and career going?
I'm just sitting there laughing because I'm like, so then what is the goal?
That's what I'm asking.
So this is the point I'm saying. Going back to my initial point.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Are we waiting for the right time? It has to be the time which is perfect for me. Are we just gonna say, we're a fighter, here's a great opportunity to become a world champion, let's fight? You told me if Callum was offered less money for a world title, we'll fight. Well done, mate. He didn't fight Benavidez. You put it down to money. So that's always my gripe with all you guys. You talk like you want to fight for a world title. Yeah, I have to say it again because you just said it.
Here's the answer to it. What world title? Here's the answer. What world title do you want him to fight for? The three belts are owned by Bivol. He has to fight Beterbiev next. You can't fight for any of them, and Callum has the interim for the WBO, which he has.
Who, Bivol?
Bivol. The WBC...
Bivol's fighting his mandatory. Effie.
But he wasn't until last week, so let's say they were meant to fight, but Beterbiev and Bivol were meant to fight again.
Effie has been number one for... He's been... I don't know, they're maybe paying him...
The WBC belt is with Benavidez. Callum is WBO interim champion. He's next in line to fight for the WBO title after they fight each other, Bivol and Benavidez. Bivol and Beterbiev in the third fight, which is now being postponed. So he's waiting for either them three or he's waiting for that one. That one's just being done against Anthony Yarde. He got offered less money than what he got for Boatsy, and it is not good business to go and fight someone in their backyard. Callum got offered less money than what he got for Boatsy.
All right, Callum
got offered less money than what Boatsy and Callum both got for fighting each other.
We've done this.
We've been through all that.
Do you
there is no world title for him to just go and get. Otherwise, trust me, knowing him the way I know him, he would just go and get it. He would go and take the first opportunity available.
If that world title doesn't become available, does he then just go, you know what, tired?
Yeah, he could, yeah.
Is that I'm saying, is that a possibility?
He doesn't need to fight.
Yeah.
He could. He's got that. He's got that attitude.
Do you ever see a situation, either one of you, where Callum would fight Anthony now?
Callum said this a while ago. We've said this a while ago. This is the thing. At the time, it made no sense to him whatsoever, apart from a domestic dust-up. He's going for the world title. He's always been ranked above Anthony. He's always felt he's been ranked above Anthony. He's always felt he's been the number one in the country, and I think he proved that by beating Boazzi. Now, if there's something on the line to fight Anthony Hard, absolutely he'd fight Anthony Hard. Why wouldn't he fight Anthony Hard? But at the minute, there's nothing on the line. If it's just a fight that pays well for both fighters, both of them will probably take it. But it's not, and there's nothing there to fight Anthony Hard apart from the noise that's made about Anthony Hard for putting up really good efforts in his world title fights and being a good fighter in the domestic division. But it's a stacked domestic division. It's a stacked division worldwide now.
So the answer is no, then?
The answer is not at the
unlikely.
What's he got to bring now? With all due respect, while you're sitting here, there's nothing to bring to the table apart from the losses that he's just had to Beterbiev in his big title fights. Yeah. And that's fine. He's a good fighter. He's a good domestic name as well. So the domestic fans would like that fight. But he's got an interim WBO world title, which could be upgraded any minute now. Yeah. Or he could get the chance to fight for Bivol for the full title, which is a far bigger fight.
Got it. Zuffa Boxing have announced they've signed Jai Opetaia. And they have aspirations and opportunities awaiting him that he doesn't seem to be able to secure. Mick Francis was on our show earlier on. What do you make of that Zuffa announcement about Jai Opetaia and what he's doing with them?
I think it's interesting. It's a big name. It's a good name. It's not necessarily a big name sort of outside the boxing fraternity, but he will be. He's definitely talented, marketable. But that's a fighter that wants to go for the undisputed title. He's been making a point of staying at that weight to become and win all the belts, and Zuffa are not about the belts. No. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know how they've signed him. I don't know what they've offered him. It must be a good deal for them to sign him. But if you're going to get involved in boxing and want to make a splash and make waves, signing names like him will do them no harm whatsoever, I think, in Opetaia.
Well, Jai spoke to myself and Jim White a few months ago. Let's have a listen to what he was saying at the time.
Right, so Callum Smith is the one you want, Jai, is it?
Well, I wouldn't say he's the one I want. I'm chasing belts. You know what I mean? I've been chasing these unification fights for such a long time now, and it's getting frustrating, but it is what it is. You know, we're here now. But I feel like once I do what I got to do against Callum Smith, you know, I feel like it just won't be denied. You know, they have to give me the shot. You know, everyone always talks about, you know, he wasn't ready, he's too early, he's not good enough. But Callum Smith, I respect, you know, so I've been told there's a budget, he can have the whole thing. And they offered at 50-50, right? So he said, I'm not fighting Jai unless I get a meal. Well, take the meal.
Yeah. You said that, Jai, first time round.
Hey, unification. We get the unification. Hey, these heavyweights they're always going to be there. This unification opportunity to call myself undisputed will never, once I got the heavyweight, it's gone.
That's what you want.
It's gone.
And I might be
once I tick that box as an undisputed cruiserweight champion,
right,
then I can live my life and go, bruv, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't want to look back and go, you know,
there was another one.
So this is an interesting perspective, and I admire that attitude. But this pursuit of the undisputed, there is a little bit of a contradiction in terms here, because don't forget he vacated his IBF belt because he wanted to fight and get paid in Saudi and be a part of a fight card. He went back and won it again. Is this a good move, do you think, for Jai, or is it risky?
I'll tell you what, it's a bold move. It's a very bold move, because I think Dana White, TKO, you know, they've always been talking about, you know, changing the game, getting boxing under one umbrella, eliminating the belts. And you go, we've got a guy here that's talking about wanting to become undisputed. I spoke to Jai actually out in Saudi, and, you know, he showed his passion for that. Said, look, I want to become undisputed. I'm jumping straight up to heavyweight, and I want to take on the challenges there, but not until I clean up the belts. Now, going with TKO, for me, you go, you're running a big risk there, because you've signed the contract, and you must have got paid a wedge of money, because you go, where is it? What is it? You know, who are you targeting? There must be a game plan. But I'm not sure that is to become undisputed and all those moves. So, look, it was a big surprise. You go, I think that Zuffa boxing is very interesting. What they're trying to achieve is going to be very interesting. Can they achieve it? Boxing's a Wild West. You can't eliminate the belts, that's for sure.
I mean, it is.
But Jai Opetaia, you know, you know, knowing his passion and his dream about becoming undisputed, that's a bold move. I didn't expect it.
Well, it's an interesting one because, I mean, ultimately, he should be able to fight Zurdo Ramirez, shouldn't he? It shouldn't be David Benavidez stepping up and being sanctioned by the WBC, which is why, ultimately, he won't have to vacate his belt because it's been sanctioned by the WBC to step up. But I have this big question about Jai, and I want to pose it to you, Tundi. We all talk about him as being the monster of the division.
Yes.
We all talk about him being best in the class, right? And the fact that there's a potential journey into the heavyweight. And I'll ask that question in a second. But besides Breeders,
Yes.
he hasn't fought anyone of world level. I mean, Jordan Thompson, Ellis Zorro, Jack Massey, with all due respect, I know this division isn't beset with talent, and he made the point about Chris Smith, that Chris Smith didn't want to take the money that was on offer, and he'd give him the whole if he wanted it.
Yes.
But is he as good as we think he is? And do you think he cleans up the cruiserweights and goes up to heavyweight? And how good do you think he could be at heavyweight?
What I think is the same Benavidez situation, where nobody really wants to find out. He is in a situation where he's a good fighter. He's a great. He can ultimately be a great fighter, but you need to fight these guys.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
They won't fight him, will they?
They won't fight him. So you can't actually blame him now if he's saying, okay, I'm not getting these fights. Everyone's waiting for the right time. Everyone's doing it. So you know what? Where in the past I wasn't even looking at the money. Where in the past I would say, I'm giving this, take the money. It's like, well, if they ain't gonna fight me, I might as well take the money now. We have to move with the times. Absolutely, we have to move with the times. But boxing is becoming, it's almost farcical. We're fighters. Or these young men, they're fighters, but they're not being, it's almost as they're not being allowed, whether that's management, whether that's...
Well, it's the sanctioning bodies, isn't it?
So you know, I don't blame him for making probably a financial move. TKO want to have that one belt.
Yep.
So that's where the issue is going to lie. You know, we all know that the undisputed is not going to happen.
Do you think they can make that change, TKO, by the way? Because, I mean, they're planning on big changes. I know they're coming into this space and they're going to be working in this space, but their ultimate goal is obviously to change things, take the belts away, get it under one umbrella. Is it, do you think, possible?
Well, I remembered when the Saudis first come into boxing, everyone said that wouldn't work. But guess what? Someone took out their checkbook and started paying people.
That's right.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about the money.
Sorry to interrupt you. Dana White and his format for the UFC, they don't pay the fighters the top money, do they?
No, but remember...
The company gets a lot of the money, and that's what I'm curious about, whether that will work in boxing.
But remember, Turki Al-Sheikh is a CEO of the company.
Yeah,
it's run by Dana White, Nick Khan, and Turki Al-Sheikh. So there's room for negotiation there. There's room to say, let's change this.
So we can get it under one umbrella, we can get it under one thing, but the money's there as well. So that's the difference from the UFC.
And ultimately, every sport is driven by money.
In the end.
In the end, it's driven by money. So
do you see? I mean, Jai Opetaia translating at heavyweight? And obviously, we've seen this blueprint of Evander Holyfield, of David Haye, of Alexander Usyk. We've seen Lawrence Okoli step up from cruiserweight. Do you see him translating and being a real threat in the heavies?
It's all skills. Roy Jones done it. James Toney done it. Evander Holyfield done it. It's possible. Anything is possible with skills.
What do you think about this specific fighter?
And this specific fighter, Jai, from what I've seen, can I see him beating a young lion like Moses Atama? No.
But also, we're in a generation where the heavyweights are actually smaller. We've gone through that bigger generation with the Anthony Joshua's, Tyson Fury's. This next generation coming through are actually smaller. So given a year or two as a heavyweight, Jai will be a main player in that for sure. For sure. I think Moses is the next big thing. But Jai's name, I think Jai has the ability to be one of the main players in the heavyweight division.
We'll see, won't we? When he steps up.